Yes, actually there's not real big changes, because basically the head of the Sakya order is always the Khan family, so that there's no change. And then also taking by the younger generation, also there are stories about the earlier times while the fathers are still living, the sons took over several occasions. So therefore, there's no real big change basically. But then there's some change, because we are now rotating only 3 years, because the old style is for lifetime. So when it's a lifetime, and it's always the head of the senior Dungses will take over from either palaces. So therefore, the younger Dungses almost have no chance. And although at the moment we have 2 palaces, it's kind of simple, but in reality, every son has their own families. So in their reality, there are many palaces now. So therefore, we feel that every Dungses who are qualified should have a chance to become the head. So therefore, it was a long time ago the previous Jaman Khyentse Shögyul Lodro who suggested this kind of system to take turns in every 3 years while we were in Tibet, but then due to certain circumstances that we could not fulfill his wishes. But now, after many years, that here in India, that we are fulfilling his wishes, so that I'm very happy about this. Yes, although I'm myself now completing, I'm resigning, but I will still take part by giving teachings, initiations, and whatever that they need to help, whatever kind of guidance and directions, whichever palace the Dungse will take over, that I will be able to, I will be ready to help them wherever they need, and more, but whatever I can do for the Dharma and also for the people, that I will be very happy to participate in. Oh, same as now. Wherever they need the monasteries and the centers, whoever needs me, that I will be valuable. And my own kind of personal wish is that I will have more time to practice for my own practice. Yes, I think it is Buddhism in general. The Buddha himself said that it is important before you practice that you should try to investigate yourself. So the Buddhist teaching goes with logical reasons, and so to do that you need knowledge. You need to know, not just by faith alone. Faith is important, but not by faith alone. But you need the faith with the wisdom. So therefore, it is very important for the practitioners of Buddhist throughout the world to study the basic Buddhist teachings, the philosophical teachings. And then after having some knowledge, then you can practice much more effectively and much more powerful. Wisdom. There are 3 kinds of wisdoms. the wisdom that you gain through the study, the wisdom that you gain through the contemplation, and wisdom that you gain through the meditation. So the first step is through the studies you have to comprehend the very profound meanings of the sutra and their commentaries, so that one will have the knowledge. Well, then after having knowledge, then you can kind of digest them, analyze them, investigate them, and think about them, and then put them into the meditation. And then the meditation will change your mind to be free from the defilements. Yes, I think generally it is very encouraging sign to see that so many people are now interested in the Buddha Dharma throughout the world. Not only the traditional Buddhist people, even many non-Buddhists also. And I think it's very encouraging because I feel from the Buddhist teachings you can learn many things that are very helpful, even for the non-Buddhists. Even you are non-believer, the Buddhist teaching can give us very inside wisdoms. So therefore, generally, I think it's very good time at this time. Yes, I'm very happy to share with throughout the world that after all that we are all human beings, though we have come from different parts of the world and different beliefs, different culture and so on, but basically we are all human beings. So it is very important to feel everyone to be a human being. We all belong to the human family. And so with that one must develop a genuine love and compassion to all fellow living beings. And also the animals that also belong to with the same world, with the same world, so therefore that we should also love our animals and other beings, and also the whole environment, because human beings, animals, everyone is living in this world, and we want this world to be clean and healthy place, especially for the future people, future beings. So therefore I give my blessing and best wishes to everyone to accomplish this genuine wish. Respected Dongsen Rinpoches, Ken Rinpoches, Shepdungs, the representative of Ganden Podang, Zongsan Khyentse Rinpoche, Kundalini Rinpoche, the representatives of the different traditions of Tibetan Buddhism, all the venerable abbots, Chugus, together with the members of the Sangha, the representative of government in India, the Home Minister, Mr. Amitabh Mathur, Superintendent Police of the Seymour District, the Honorable Justice Commissioner of the Tibetan Supreme Justice Commission, the Honorable Speaker and members of the Tibetan Parliament, the Honorable Minister for Culture and Religion and other dignitaries from the Central Tibetan Administration, the representative of the Sikkim State Government, the representative of various monasteries, members from various non-governmental organizations, generous patrons, and all our friends and dignitaries from different countries. I express my heartiest welcome and tashidele to you all gathered here at the enthronement ceremony of the new head of the Sakya tradition. As most of you are aware, the designation process for the head of the Sakya order has been recently reformed and duly confirmed. May I therefore provide you with the background historical context on this title and its succession procedure. In the year 1073, Konyo Gyalpo founded the great seat of Sakya. Since his time, all his successors, including the great 5 founding masters, until the 11 throne holders belonged to one palace. Therefore, the period was known as the 11 Sakya throne holders who ruled pervasively. Subsequently, during the time of Dangni Chenpo Sangpo, many heirs were born and 4 palaces were formed, namely Shido Labrang, Rinjen Labrang, Lagang Labrang, Tunjo Labrang. At that time, though there was no officially designated throne holder, most of the masters who assumed the responsibilities of the Sakya Tenzin, such as bestowing teachings, apparently belonged to the Shido Labrang. However, 3 of the 4 palaces gradually ceased to exist, and only Tuchu Labrang continued to flourish. The existing current lineage traced back to Tuchu Labrang, which produced some of the most learned and accomplished masters, including the great Nganjang Kunga Rinchen, Jamgwe Amesha Kunga Sonam, Sajin Kunga Lodre. This Labrang continued to hold the Sakya throne for a significantly long period, until when Sajin Kunga Lodre's son, Jamgwe Wangdu Ningbo, had 4 dungses, and the Tuchu Labrang itself branched out into 4 palaces. 2 of the 4 dungses were ordained, and while their palaces functioned during their lifetime, they did not leave direct linear successions. Moreover, because we chiefly follow the tradition of lineage-based succession, the reincarnations of the 2 ordained dungses were not sought out. Even though reincarnations were supposedly found, they would not have the same privileges as the lineal successors. As for the 2 remaining palaces, the Doma Potang and Phunzo Potang, they continued through the lineage-based succession system, and they continued to take the responsibility as the head of Sakya, either by rotating between the Potangs or in the basis of seniority. In other words, the responsibility of the Sakya Tenzin was shared by the 2 palaces through alternating or in order of seniority. As for me, by the virtues of past and temporal conditions, along with the coherent aspiration, the responsibility of Sakya Tenzin was conferred upon me at a very young age. I may have been the youngest Sakya Tenzin in our history. I was enthroned at a very critical time in the history of Tibet. I may also be the longest serving Sakya Tenzin because it has been over 60 years since I was appointed the head of Sakya by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, 14th Dalai Lama. Whatever the case may be, the tradition was able to be sustained during my tenure as Sakya Tenzin, primarily due to the benevolence of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and pure determination of all great masters, as well as the harmony and collaboration between Sangha, generous patrons, and faithful students of the tradition. Apart from shared achievement, I have nothing significant that I can take credit for. Looking forward for the future, I saw a necessity to introduce reforms to the succession system, given the risk of problems if new procedure had to be abruptly introduced in later times. I discussed and sought advice from a few experienced, sincere individuals on my view. Finally, considering the present realities, I concluded that this chosen system of designation was the most suitable among alternative procedures. I saw it as essential that the members of both palaces come to an agreement on this matter before I took any decision. Therefore, in 2013, during the Grand Vajrakilaya Puja in Rajpur, when the Dungses and Dangmos were present, we had a briefing on this matter. I presented my views and also mentioned that Dzongsa Khyentse Dorje Chögyi Lodro had suggested similar approach. In response, everyone agreed with and supported my suggestion. They also said that they would consult Darshan Rinpoche before they could be definitive. I further told those present that our discussion was just an initial briefing, and I would visit Darshan Rinpoche in Seattle and relate this matter in detail. Shortly thereafter, I received a call from Darshan Rinpoche, during which he expressed his complete agreement with my suggested approach and also recalled that the proposal was exactly what Dzongsa Khyentse Chögyi Lodro had advised. In 2014, I paid a visit to Darshan Rinpoche in Seattle and discussed this matter. He not only gave his full consent, but also made his position clear by signing and placing his seal on the letter of mutual agreement. We further had an understanding that it would be premature to announce this publicly without having reported to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Once I had returned to India, I had an audience with His Holiness in Dharamsala on this matter. His Holiness warmly stated that this was a good news and an excellent decision, and also granted a letter of approval with a great pleasure. Later, during the Sakya Melam in 2014, I finally made this decision public during the prayer gathering. Due to shortage of preparation, time, and the year 2016 being astrologically unfavorable, I announced that the commencement of the new arrangement and enthronement of the new Sakya Tenzin would be in 2017. I made it clear that this was not unprecedented, and for example, account indicate that the tenure of Jamgon Pema Dundu Wanju, Dorje Rinchen, and Tekjen Deshi Rinchen were passed on to them while their fathers were alive. Likewise, most recently, Phuntsho Photang's Zamlin Chiku Wangdu retired from his position and allowed the younger Tashu Chile Rinchen of Drama Photang to succeed him. Since the existing system allows Sakya Tenzins to hold the throne of the Sakya for their lifetime, and other younger Dungses did not have the opportunity to assume the position. Even though from an outside perspective, we can generally say that there are two Photangs, in actuality, at present, each Photang has Dungses who have their own respective household. Therefore, in effect, we have a number of Photangs. In order to become potential heirs, it is not sufficient just to be born in the lineage. One must meet the criteria of having undergone studies, received numerous sets of empowerments and transmissions, and completed the number of retreats and so forth. We envisioned that the spiritual heirs would possess all these attributes and be able to take charge while we the seniors are still present, able to provide guidance where and when required. Currently, we have 5 dongses who are mature and also have completed or about to complete their studies. The 5 dongses shall each assume the responsibility for the 3-year term in order of seniority. No reason or excuse shall be made to withhold transfer of position at the expiry of each term. In Tibet at the time, we could not fulfill the wish of Khyentse Shökyi Lodro that the 2 Photons should have the same system of 3-year terms as the practice in the Ngor Latang's tradition. However, as I relinquish the throne today, I am extremely pleased to see the noble wish of our Guru being fulfilled in exile after many years. It is also fortunate this agreement laid out in the letter of mutual agreement was made at the right time when Dakshin Rinpoche was still with us. Otherwise, such an important decision could not have been reached as smoothly if we had waited for a few more years. From today, my tenure as head of the Sakya tradition comes to an end. This means that whoever holds the throne will have to shoulder most of the crucial responsibilities. However, whenever anyone bearing this responsibility requires my assistance or the passing on of empowerment and teachings, I will render my service to them, irrespective of which Photon they belong to. My endeavor to benefit all sentient beings and the Buddha Dharma to the best of my ability will continue. At this time, I would also like to urge the great masters, Sangha members, patrons, and the lay practitioners to work together for the greater benefit of the Dharma in general and Sakya teachings in particular. We may not be strong in numbers in terms of possessions and population, but we have always harmonious and united. When the need arises, various monasteries, lavrans, and our lay followers are able to gather with a joyous heart and one voice. I regard this cohesiveness as our greatness and also a vital necessity. This is because from the spiritual point of view, maintaining pure samaya is of utmost importance. Without a pure samaya, achieving realization and enhancing one's spiritual practice is extremely difficult. Likewise, from the worldly point of view, if there is no unity, it is difficult to accomplish any task. Therefore, having seen the true bond among us that we share, I urge you all to continue to maintain this strong bond, not only in outer appearance, but also in spiritual terms, because we are all bound to each other through samayas. Since the continuity and thriving of the Buddha Dharma in general and Sakya tradition in particular has primarily been due to the benevolence of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Wherever we may be, we should always remember our gratitude towards him. In doing so, we should all first and foremost strive to fulfill his noble wishes. Even though we may not have been able to contribute significantly towards the cause of the Tibetan people, we have nonetheless always abided by the words of His Holiness. Therefore, I urge you all not to stray away from our common tradition and institution, and to remember our gratitude to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I would also like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt appreciation to the state and union government of India and its people who have constantly showered us with the warmth of kindness for so many years. As the closing remark, I would like to pray for the spread of Buddha's teaching in every corner of this world. May the holders of the Dharma from all the traditions of Buddhism, and particularly the crown among the holders of the Dharma, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, live for hundreds of eons, and may their noble wishes be fulfilled. May the newly enthroned Sakya Tenzin and subsequent successors live long and their beneficial activities for the sake of the Dharma and sentient beings expand endlessly. May all our wishes be fulfilled, and may all the Tibetans in our homeland and in exile reunite in near future. Thank you very much.